Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Dental Talk. Today we have another very special guest with us here. Today we have Dr. Rizwan Ullah, who's an assistant professor and the head of oral biology at the Jinnah Sindh Medical University. He's deeply passionate professional about dental education and research, and is committed to advancing the knowledge and skills of his students and colleagues. He's also the founder of the YouTube channel that you may have heard of, Dental Education Hub, where he has helped thousands of students and professionals around the world to deepen their understanding of the field of dentistry. He has worked in research a lot. He currently works as a reviewer for many prestigious journals such as Journal of Dental Education, European Journal of Dental Education, the BMC Medical Education Fluoride, and Journal of Endodontics as well. Dr. Rizwan is known for his innovative and effective teaching methods, especially because of his YouTube channel. I could go on about his introduction, but I think we should start the interview. Hello, Dr. Rizwan. How are you? How's your Ramzan going?
Hello, Dr. Paracha. Thank you. First of all, thank you very much for having me on your podcast. Ramzan is going good and definitely very busy because I have to do a lot of academic work, and at the same time I have to carry on the online stuff as well that we are doing through Dental Education Hub and through other platforms as well.
Yes,
So
absolutely. I'm sure we'll talk about that as well. So, with your permission, sir, should we start the interview?
yes.
All right. Sir, थोड़ा सा पीछे जाते हैं. Tell us a bit about how you got into dentistry. When and where did you graduate from, and how were those undergraduate years like?
Let me tell you some background about myself first. I am fourth of the five siblings, and my father, he migrated alone to Karachi from the north of Pakistan when he was just 15 years old.
Okay.
So he studied and worked side by side. So he's maintaining the balance between work and his studies as well. A 15 years old child. So despite the challenge and the challenges that he has faced, he invested a lot in our education.
I'm sure, yes.
So I was born and raised in Karachi, and I pursued my undergraduate dentistry degree from Bakai Medical University in 2009.
Okay.
And later I completed my master's in oral biology from Queen Mary University of London in 2013. So during my undergraduate studies, my focus was on studies only, and I didn't participated much in the extracurricular activities, or what we say co-curricular activities. But I was a good student, and the university, it awarded me financial assistance or merit and need-based scholarship for 3 years. So they give me around 40% tuition fee off
Amazing.
during those 3 years.
Yeah.
So free advice for your audience, it is important for the student to keep a balance between studies and the extracurricular interest at the same time. So
Yeah.
it's very important, because when you apply for some scholarships, or when you apply for some jobs,
Yeah.
they look at both the aspects, whether you are a good student and at the same time you have participated. For example, what you have done for the community service, whether you were a good speaker or not, how good sportsman you are. So it's very important that you should maintain a balance when you are a student. So
Absolutely.
that's it.
Things definitely matter. All right, sir. My next question naturally becomes, what made you choose a career in oral biology? You went to Queen Mary University. Queen Mary University is an amazing school. It's one of the best universities in the world, if I'm not wrong. What made you choose a career in oral biology?
So I pursued my post-graduation, as I said, in oral biology because I was interested in this subject since my undergraduate, and it was the subject in which my score was highest among all 4 years.
Okay.
So during that time, there was very few specialists in this subject. So this was also one of the reasons for my choice. And the Queen Mary, it is the only university that is offering that subject at that time. So and because, as you said, the reputation of the university it is still among top 200 universities of the world.
Yeah.
So these are the reasons. But before that, before going to the Queen Mary, I had an opportunity to work as a demonstrator for 1 year in the Department of Prosthodontics. And this experience is also very important. Like after your undergraduate study, your work experience is also very important. Why? Because it gives you some insight. And during this time, you can explore your interest and before joining into some postgraduate program. So if you go directly into a postgraduate program, just to finish your house job, so sometimes you are not able to explore yourself, what really your interests are. So again, another piece of advice is uh, after your house job, give some time to yourself. 1 year. I'm not saying give 4 or 5 years. Give 1 year to yourself and explore your interests, what your interests are. So so that's why I worked for 1 year as a demonstrator before going for post graduation.
Perfect. That's beautiful advice coming from you, sir. All right, sir. You went to Queen Mary. You probably saw a different level of dentistry being practiced over there. You saw a different research infrastructure you saw over there. How do you differentiate? How do you compare that to the education system that you saw over here, and how is dentistry or education system abroad in the UK?
I'll try to answer it in a sugar-coated way
Yeah,
because the realities they are quite bitter. So
yeah,
in Pakistan, when we talk about Pakistan, in a single city like Karachi, there are around 14 or 15 dental school in a single
yeah.
city, Karachi.
That's true.
While if you compare it with the United Kingdom, there are 14 dental school in the entire United Kingdom.
Wow.
So, so this is the one major difference. So how it is different? The General Dental Council, like the PMDC, or you call it PMC, I don't know what we'll call it tomorrow. It is responsible, the General Dental Council, it is responsible for the regulation of dental profession.
Yeah,
It is not responsible for the regulation of dentist. It
yeah,
is responsible for the regulation of dental professions. By dental profession, we mean dentists, dental nurses, dental technologists, and
yeah,
dental therapists. In Pakistan, this is not the case. The Pakistan Medical and Dental Council, it only regulates, according to my knowledge, it only regulates the dentist only.
yeah,
So, but in the UK, this is not the case. It is. They also recognize the General Dental Council. They recognize the importance of patient safety, and the council has implemented modern teaching and training methods such as simulation-based training to prepare the student before the exposure to the patient.
okay,
So before you are treating patients, you are the students, they are bound to simulated patients, or they are bound to treat that we call it as phantom heads in Pakistan.
all
But
right.
actually, here is not the case.
Yeah, that's true.
In Another thing is in Pakistan, the dental institutions they are facing challenges when adapting to. They are changing accreditation standard with every government.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, the rules they are changing. Additionally, there is a lack of investment into the dental profession,
Yeah,
both from the government sector institution as well as from the private sector institutions.
yeah,
Uh, there's also lack of investment into the technology as well. So, which can all of these things, if we do, they can potentially enhance the quality of dental education and training in the country. Uh, there's no financial, I don't believe that there's only the financial reason that we are not investing. There's a lack of will,
well,
both on the part of the government as well as on the part of the private institutions as well.
that's
So
true.
that's it.
That's true. That's true. You're absolutely bang on about the fact that you need certain level of standardization for a consistent period of time for it to start
Exactly.
reaping results. Absolutely, you're bang on about that.
Exactly.
All right, sir. You did your MSc from there. थोड़ा सा what I wanted to understand is that many people after doing their MSc they go for their PhDs. Why did you not choose
Yes.
to do your PhD and you came back instead over here? Why did you not choose to do your PhD? इसमें कोई special reason था या इसमें क्या था reason?
If to be very honest, there were several reasons.
All right.
In Pakistan, we are born and brought in a setup where we are attached to our families so
Yeah, that's
much.
true.
So I was homesick when I was doing my master's.
Yeah,
This
I
is
can
one of the reason.
completely understand.
Second reason was the funding. If you look, if you try to do your PhD in UK, there
Hmm.
is very little funding for the overseas students. Number
That's
second thing is this. So you have to look for the PhD. You have to look into the European countries. They have a lot of funding for the overseas students.
all right.
Uh, number third thing is I want to come back to Pakistan and work want to work for a few years and want to explore myself further before directly going into a PhD program.
Okay.
But definitely, there were several other reasons too. Sometimes your family problems and so on.
Perfect.
But I'm trying my best to go into the PhD program in future.
In future, inshallah. All right, sir. Let's move on towards a dental education hub. आप यहाँ पर आ गए. You probably started working at a university. What as an academic, when did you think कि आपको इस तरह का एक कोई प्लेटफॉर्म शुरू करना चाहिए डेंटल एजुकेशन हब? उसके पीछे थॉट प्रोसेस क्या था, एंड आपने स्टार्ट कैसे किया? एंड यू स्टार्ट एंड क्या कहते हैं, यू स्टार्टेड दिस समवेयर इन 2016, I believe 2015, 2016.
Yes,
So
yes,
that was
around this
that
time.
was a time when not many people were doing. Actually YouTube अभी नया नया वो हुआ था, अनबैन हुआ था, अभी कुछ ही साल हुए थे. So many people had started doing YouTube. So what made you start doing it, and what was your thought process behind it?
So, very interesting, and it's a very long journey. In 2015 or 16, the Jinnah Sindh Medical University, it is a public sector university where I'm working right now.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
they started conducting, because it was a new university at that time. So they
Yeah.
started conducting various courses for the faculty and for the capacity building of the faculty.
Mm.
So they nominated me in one of the course that is called that was the e-learning course,
Okay.
where the instructors, they were teaching about the learning management system that was Moodle at that time. And I should remind the audience that this was a time well before COVID.
Yeah, that's true.
So the instructor, they asked us to embed one of the YouTube video into the learning management system. They asked us to develop an online course, and one of the tasks was to embed a video into the learning management system.
All
So
right.
at that time, I thought, why we don't have our own content? And when I looked at the content on the YouTube, it was not consistent, and there were a lot of errors in the content, because most of the content, it was uploaded by students. So
Mhm.
there were a lot of errors. So I thought, at that point, I thought I must have my own authentic content to embed into our learning management system. So I recorded, edited, and uploaded a few videos in 2016. And this is how it all started. Today, we have around over 33,000 subscribers on
Yeah.
YouTube, 4,000 on LinkedIn, and over 10,000 on Instagram. So this is
That's
how it all started.
that's a beautiful journey. um सबसे पहली बात ये होती है YouTube की, that you need to be consistent with YouTube, something that I have not been able to do because I'm so early on in my career. I have to sort of work as well, and it's very hard to be consistent. I'm sure you must have felt that as well.
Exactly.
What helped
Yes, you
what
yes,
helped
we
you
face this challenge as well.
Yes, exactly. So what helped you grow your channel, and how what helped you keep your motivation levels up?
It's not a single answer to this question, but there are several things
I'm
that
sure,
keep
I'm
me
sure.
motivated. There
Yeah.
are several things that keep me motivated, and one of the factor is the comments.
Oh,
I received several messages on Instagram and comments. For example, I received one of the message that one of the student posted a comment under one of my videos. I wish my teacher will listen to your lectures and learn how to teach. So,
yeah, you're
so,
absolutely true about that. The comments and the appreciation really does motivate you to do more. That's what helps me
so
as well, to be honest. So I completely
So,
relate to what you're saying.
so the feedback of the comments are one of the motivating factors. So if you are watching this video and you are finding this useful, please do comment below and and dental talk.
Yeah.
So regarding consistent of the growth of the YouTube channel, we try to regularly post. Definitely, it's a very difficult task. Sometimes we lose our momentum as well.
Yeah.
Uh, we post into the community tab as well. There's a community tab in the YouTube. I
Yeah.
hope you are aware of that.
Yeah, I
So
do.
we post into the community tab. This is one of the method of engaging with your audiences. We in the community tab, we post pictures, we post quizzes, and we post something like this. Uh, in addition to the community post, we also post YouTube Shorts. That is like Reels in the
Mm.
Instagram, 1 minute video.
Yeah.
So it is also a very useful method for engagement as well. So it's very useful. So that's it. These are the few
Sure.
tips.
आई एम श्योर सर एक जो क्वेश्चन मेरे दिमाग में अभी आया है वो ये है कि आप you've been doing YouTube for like I can say 6-7 years now, all right.
Yes.
काफ़ी लोग अब इंस्टाग्राम पे आप देख रहे होंगे नए स्टूडेंट्स जो है वो इंस्टाग्राम पे अपने ब्लॉग्स बनाते हैं, ठीक है, ऑब्वियसली आई एम श्योर running a YouTube channel for me has been life changing. It has really helped me connect with so many people like you, people like so many people out there, professionals out there. आपकी young dentists को क्या advice होगी, because people just start blogging on Instagram, what would you advise to them कि आप क्या कोई क्या चीज़ यूनिक करें, because you're doing something unique, I feel like the dental talk is something unique, और आप इस तरह की क्या आप कि यूनिक करना चाहिए या they should just continue blogging on Instagram?
Mm, I think they should continue their passion like blogging, but in addition to that, they can do, if we talk about this technology enhanced learning, तो वो ये कर सकते हैं, they can design or they can learn how to design some applications, mobile applications, some basic mobile applications like, uh, I hope you have heard about, for example, crossword activities,
Absolutely.
word search, word scramble activities. They can start some game-based learning thing,
Gamification. Yeah.
gamification.
Yeah.
वो कर सकते हैं. They can do some gamification, or they should continue blogging, but they can, with blogging they can start some game-based learning kind of thing. I
Perfect.
think there's a lot of scope in
Scope.
this area, or
Absolutely.
it is not explored as well right now. Medicine dentistry वालों ने इसको ज़्यादा explore नहीं किया, but still,
Absolutely.
this area is vacant.
So what is your eventual goal with this platform of Dental Education Hub?
Yes, there are a number of goals, and sometimes we redefine our goals with the
Yeah,
passage of time as
that's
well. For
true.
example, maybe when you have started dental talk, maybe you have certain goals, but right now maybe your concept is entirely different. Same is in our case. So we have several goals. One of our goal is to introduce hybrid learning or blended learning into the dental schools. And what we mean by a hybrid learning or blended learning is want to deliver some part of the curriculum online and the remaining curriculum in the physical setting, because what I feel is in the classroom there is a lot of time, I must say, teachers, they are wasting time of the students believe that it's a waste of time, and so we want to transfer theoretical information online,
Yeah.
like what is 1 + 1 is
Yeah.
equals to 2.
Yeah.
There are time when the facts, they are very straightforward, like 1 + 1 is equals to 2. So we want to deliver that part online, and the remaining, like zero point 0.5 plus 0.5, 0.5 plus 0.5 is equals
Yeah.
to, for example, 2. We want to deliver this in the classroom settings.
Perfect.
So
Sir.
we have published one of our original studies in the Journal of Dental Education,
Mhm.
which was conducted prior to the pandemic, in which we have proved from the evidence that the blended learning model, in which we save the student time by putting some of the content online, it's far superior than the face-to-face
That's true.
classroom.
That's true.
And another goal is to introduce game-based learning, especially for the basic sciences, which students feel very boring. For example, anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, dental anatomy. We want to introduce game-based learning. We are planning to design some mobile application or some web-based application for the learners in future. Uh, We want to do some future research, and I want to pursue my career in the online or blended learning in dental education. And last but not the least,
Yeah.
we want to be an individual uh, who is beneficial to the people.
Yeah.
So we want to give benefit to the people. We want to be beneficial for the masses, rather than just beneficial for ourselves, rather than just to be associate professor, just to be a professor, to be a head of department. So we want to be as beneficial. We want to transfer the benefit to the individuals. And I think the YouTube is a medium
Yeah.
where you can reach to thousands of students, rather than in a classroom where you can deliver to just 50
50
students at a
students. Yeah.
time.
That's true.
So that's what my thoughts are
Beautiful, sir.
regarding about this platform.
Beautiful, sir. All right, sir, you've talked a lot about education and the future of education, but what do you feel like is the future of ed tech, using technology for education in the world and more specifically in Pakistan? Because आपने देखा होगा कोविड 19 के बाद उससे कोविड 19 से पहले जो छुट्टियां मिल जाती थी, बारिश हो गई ज़्यादा, ये हो गया वो हो गया, कोई कुछ भी हो गया, छुट्टी मिल जाती थी, अब नहीं मिलती क्योंकि अब घर बैठ के स्कूल फ्रॉम होम भी हो जाता है, everyone can study from their house as well. So how do you think
Exactly.
technology will be changing education, and how can technology be used for education in Pakistan and the world as well?
So rightly, जैसे आपने बोला कि like in Pakistan में after the COVID pandemic, people are first time, I must say, first time people are formally introduced to technology, started using technology for education.
Yeah.
So initially, जब first thought, there was a lot of resistance. But after that, after the pandemic, now institutions, जैसे आपने बोला, they are still using technology or online tools for education, because they have experienced that the technology has provided them a lot of solutions for their problems, especially in education. And in Pakistan, जहाँ तक पाकिस्तान की बात है, there are a number of educational technology startups when we talk about higher education, or especially for the medical or dental education. But जब हम उनकी तरफ देखते हैं, so most of them have a very limited scope. They are only catering, for example, undergraduate dental students, or they are catering undergraduate medical students. एक ही EDTech, but most of time they are dedicated towards undergraduate students, medical or dental students. Some of the startups, they are only addressing the needs of the postgraduate students. For example, one of the startup, it is helping students to prepare for that CPS Part 1 exams.
Yeah.
So, but I believe it's a good start, and uh, despite of that, they have a limited scope. They will evolve with time, and they will extend, or they will extend their scope to the medical technologists, to the nurses, to the dental technologists, dental assistants. So with time, I believe that EDTech will evolve in Pakistan.
Perfect, sir. That's a beautiful answer coming from you, because you have been working in ed tech for a while, and you have been very vocal about it as well, sir. Because you're an academic, and you're stressing so much on dental education. I'm sure you'll have good insights about how to improve dental education in Pakistan, because अभी recently ही PMC ने इस पे ज़्यादा ध्यान देना शुरू किया है, that every college is supposed to have a dental education department, and dental education पे काफ़ी focus हो रहा है. How do you think पाकिस्तान का क्या way forward, and how to improve dental education?
So again, there's not a single answer, or there's not a single solution to this complex problem. Okay. For example, one of the things that we talked about earlier in this podcast is the consistency of the policies.
Yeah.
The policies, they are not consistent. The policies, they change with every government. For example, after every 2.5 years, there's new council. There are new. If the council is not new, the members, they are new. So there are new policies. So the consistency of the policies by the regulatory bodies with no political involvement is one of the steps that should be taken. Secondly, the institutions should be bound to invest in the dental school, both in the teaching and the clinical infrastructure each year. The institutions, they purchase, for example, dental chairs, they purchase some microscope, they purchase some radiology equipment, and later on, they do not upgrade that equipment. So
Yeah.
this is another problem because they are not bound to invest in the dental school infrastructure by the councils. Third, in one of the podcasts by Professor Nasrin on Dental Talk, he talked about the comprehensive dental care rotation
Yeah.
during house job year, that we call it as dental internship,
Yeah.
mandatory dental internship. So there's a need of introduction of the comprehensive dental care rotation. And for the interest of your audiences, I must repeat again that what is comprehensive dental care? It means one house officer or one intern, he is responsible for treating the complete patient rather than just the prosthodontic rotation diagnosis. He will diagnose, uh, he will formulate the treatment plan, and he will treat the patient from the beginning till the end. So there's need of comprehensive dental care rotation. There's a need of introduction of alternative postgraduate programs. Right now, we have only one, practically speaking, we have only one postgraduate program in the country, that is fellowship by the College of Physicians and Surgeons. That is 4 to 5 years long if you pass in first attempt.
Yeah.
So there is a need of alternative. Everybody can't do that, go into a 4 to 5 year program. So there is a need of alternative postgraduate programs as well. And in this country, the emphasis should be on the quality rather than
Yeah.
the number of years. There's a lot of debate for a 5 years BDS. There's a lot of debate about a 1 year or a 2 year master's program. Nobody talk about the quality, that what
Quality.
is delivered during those 4 years, what is delivered during those 2 years. So there's a need of quality rather than the quantity or the number of years. So
Perfect.
now the last thing is, students should take responsibility of their own learning as well,
Hmm.
because the
Yeah.
points that we have discussed earlier, it is something to do with the stakeholders, with the government.
Yeah.
So
That's
students should take charge of their own learning as well. They should upgrade this. Now there's a time of the internet.
yes, that's true.
Students should search what is going on in the, for example, Harvard School of Dental Medicine, what is going on in the, for example, in the School of Medicine and Dentistry at Queen Mary University of London. So they should equip themselves with those courses or with those skills,
Yeah.
rather than looking at the government to do something for themselves,
Perfect, sir.
that
That ये last वाला point आपका मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा, that because the internet has made the whole world so small, every student should be equipping himself with such courses and such मतलब इस तरह अपना
skills.
skill कर सकते हैं आप अपने आप को students individually भी. Sir,
Exactly.
we'll be moving towards the end of our question. I would like to talk to you about a bit about research. How can we, you told us how we can improve dental education. I would also love to know from you, how can we better the research potential in Pakistan and make it more easy in a way to do research at an undergraduate level?
Uh, I think there are several ways of doing, there are several ways through which we can address this issue. And one of the thing is the research, a dedicated research module
Hmm.
should be introduced into to the curriculum. And uh, Pakistan Association of Dental Students, they have designed a good outline.
Yeah.
I have conducted one of the workshops. So institutions can collaborate with the student associations or the student bodies as well.
Yeah.
It should be mandatory that the student should write and submit at least one scientific communication before graduation.
Yeah.
And that communication can be as simple as a letter to the editor in a scientific journal to our original study. So it should be made mandatory, or it should be made desirable, not mandatory. It should not mandatory, it should be desirable. Institutions that are offering postgraduate programs and the medical universities, they should have some basic instruments that the students can, they should have some basic labs where students can conduct some laboratory based
Yeah.
research. Again, students, these are the things that universities or the PMC or the Pakistan Medical and Dental Council should do. But students should take the responsibility of their own learning as well, because they are adults.
Yeah.
So they can, a lot of institutions, they are offering research internships in Pakistan. For example, in Karachi, if I talk about my city, there's an institution that is called HEJ Research Institute.
Yeah.
They are offering research internships for the dental students as well. They have dedicated lab for stem cell research, for cell
Oh,
culture as well. So a lot of dental students, actually, they are doing their internships. So students should look for these opportunities in Pakistan and abroad as well, if they can afford,
beautiful answers.
rather than just looking at the institutions to do some reforms. That is a very difficult.
Yeah. Perfect, Sid. That was a beautiful answer. We'll be moving towards the last question of our podcast that we ask everyone. What do you think about this startup of ours, and any advice that you would like to give us for our future endeavors?
Yes, it's an excellent startup, along with the medical talk. Dental talk, definitely. The medical talk is another startup.
Yeah.
So these discussions on this platform will be helpful to uplift the dental profession, definitely, because we are addressing the problem. We are talking about the problems, like what are the problems, for example, in dental education in our country. So addressing, so we are talking about the diagnosis.
Yeah.
That is the first step before the treatment.
Yeah.
So hope in the future, regarding the advice, I hope in the future you will include in these podcasts, you will include people from the dental industry.
Yeah.
For example, dental share manufacturing industry, dental industry that is located in Sialkot. I hope you will include those people as
That's
well.
a great idea. Yeah.
You will include with some videos for the patient education as well. For example, on the World Oral Health Day, you can record some videos. I don't know whether you have recorded on this
No, no,
20th
I didn't.
March or
But you're
not,
right. We should. Yeah.
on Oral Cancer Day, which
Yeah.
is very prevalent in our country. So you can record some videos. So what my wish for the dental talk is, may Allah accept your efforts, uh, and make it a source of inspiration and guide for the dental profession, and at the same time provide you success, not
Thank,
only in this world but in the world that is hereafter.
thank
So that should be the goal as well.
Thank you so much,
So
sir.
thank you so much, very
Sir,
nice
thank
to
you so
speak to
much for
you.
taking time out. बड़ा short and crisp interview रहा है. I was sure that I would love to talk to you about Dental Education Hub, and yes, I did, because I could relate to most of the things that you said about running a YouTube channel and how it's just it's just the whole conversation that we've had around that and research along with that, and dental education as well, because I'm personally very fond of dental education as well. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
taking time out, sir. इंशाल्लाह कभी मैं कराची आया तो इंशाल्लाह ज़रूर आपसे मुलाकात होगी. I hope you
बिल्कुल
take
बिल्कुल
care and have a nice Ramzan and have a nice Eid, inshallah.
बिल्कुल आप आए
Yes,
थे
sir.
कराची, आई बिलीव.
Yes, बिल्कुल.
तो मैंने सोचा था मैसेज करूं, पर फिर मैं थोड़ा सा लेजी हो गया, तो मैंने मैसेज आपको नहीं किया. मैंने सोचा पता नहीं आप मिलेंगे नहीं मिलेंगे, कि एक
नहीं
और
सर,
चीज.
यूजली मैं
हाँ
जब
हाँ.
कराची आता हूँ तो मैं बस 5 दिन के लिए आता हूँ, और बिकॉज आई हैव माय होल फैमिली लिव्स इन कराची, लाइक नॉट माय
कहाँ
इमीडिएट
रहते हैं?
फैमिली बट माय एक्सटेंडेड फैमिली लिव्स इन कराची, सो
वेयर
इट्स
वेयर दे लिव?
इट्स जस्ट वेरी
वेयर दे
बिजी
लिव?
देयर. बट नहीं, अभी आई एम कमिंग इन जुलाई इंशाल्लाह, बट और तब मैं ज़्यादा टाइम के लिए आ रहा हूँ फॉर 1 or 2 weeks.
मैं कह रहा हूँ कहाँ रहते हैं?
Oh, I live in Gulshan Iqbal, sir. Gulshan
ठीक है,
Iqbal and
गुलशन में.
Florence, both. आप
मेरे
आगे.
मे- मेरा घर जो है वो नॉर्थ नाजिमाबाद में,
Oh,
दैट इज नियर टू गुलशन इकबाल ना.
very near to Gulshan
सो
Iqbal, बिल्कुल.
डू मैसेज मी, वी विल
बिल्कुल sir.
इंशाल्लाह वी विल मीट ना.
Inshallah,
ठीक है.
sir. Inshallah, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for taking time out.
थैंक यू.
Inshallah.